So now we are going to start a new lesson, that is agriculture. We come to agriculture. It is actually an economic activity related to cultivation of crops. In addition to that, there are two more things, that is animal rearing and fishing. So agriculture is an economic activity related to cultivation of crops, animal rearing and fishing. It is also called primary sector or primary activity because it is helping for industrial sector and also it is supporting the tertiary sector. When we look at our Indian population, 2/3 of our Indian population is basically working in the field of agriculture. Now, when we come to the next topic, let us write two learning objectives. One is, what is meant by zooming cultivation, that is, describe zooming cultivation. And of course, we will be discussing about the different forms of farming or types of farming. So we are going to differentiate or distinguish between primitive subsistence farming and commercial farming. So first of all, let us talk about three types of farming. There are primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming and commercial farming. These are the three types of farming. So first of all, let's see what is primitive subsistence farming. This farming actually takes place in the small patches of land, not in big lands or not so much land for it. It is only cultivating the small patches of land. It is mainly cultivating for family needs, and the members will be involved from the family or community levels. A small community will be joined and they will be cultivating a small patches of land. Mainly family related or family members will be involved in this type of farming. They also use primitive tools like ancient times or very early times people were using spade, hoe. This type of, you can see in the picture two things, spade and hoe. Like that, primitive tools they will be using in this type of farming. And in this farming, more manual labor is needed instead of machines. There are so many other type of farming in there, we will be using more machine, but here it is manual labor dominance. We need more people for this type of farming. And for irrigation purpose, for watering the plants, they depend mainly rainfall. In case of India, we depend monsoon rainfall. That is, these are the features of primitive subsistence farming. When we come to the next slide, we can see different forms of primitive subsistence farming. One of the form is called slash and burn agriculture. There are two processes. They are slashing the land and burning it. Sometimes they left the land to regain its fertility. After slashing and burning, they will leave this place and to regain their fertility, and they will start. In some occasions, after one year cultivation, they will leave the land and they will start. After regaining the fertility of the land, they will start it again. Earlier, people were doing the same. Forest where there's burning, and they will start agriculture in those areas. It is called slash and burn agriculture. In India, this type of cultivation is there mainly in Assam, Meghalaya, Chhattisgarh, and the Nicobar Islands. In those states, they have cleared a lot of forest for this purpose. It is also called zooming cultivation. So that's our first learning objective. What is zooming cultivation? So it's another name of slash and burn agriculture. In this, they slash land and burn the land, and also they left the land for regained fertility and cultivating. This type of cultivation is known as primitive subsistence farming method. In that we have mentioned zooming cultivation or slash and burn agriculture. Now there is a question, which among the below pair is correct about primitive subsistence farming? In India, which has different names for this subsistence farming in the different area. Zooming cultivation is known as in different area, different names. In that, for example, Bringa is the correct option is given in Bringa in Odisha. That is a correct name of zooming cultivation in Odisha region. It is called Bringa. Now when we come to the second type of farming, that is intensive subsistence farming. In this, people use maximum use of land. They use maximum land So the maximum use of minimal land is minimum, but they are maximum utilizing that. This type of agriculture is mainly practiced in the high population areas. So this type of farming, that is intensive subsistence farming, need more labors. It is labor intensive farming, more labors required for this. And also they use high doses of chemical fertilizer, and they also will have irrigation facilities. So there are some differences when we look at primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. In primitive subsistence farming, they are not using high dose of chemical fertilizers and all, but here they use that. For irrigation, they were mainly depending only monsoon rainfall, but here in the intensive subsistence farming, irrigation facilities will be there, like motor pipe and all will be using for this. And this is also cultivating minimum land, but they are maximum utilizing that. That is a major differences. And this type of farming is mainly for practicing the high population density areas. Now when we come to the next part, that is the third category, that is called commercial farming. Commercial farming is a farming, they use this farming mainly for commercial purpose, for getting more money. So in this, they use high yield variety of seeds. High yield variety of seeds they will be using for this commercial farming. And also, they will be using more chemical fertilizer and pesticides, because it is mainly for selling products, not for only for family needs. So one of the main aim or profit, or one of the main motive of this if type of farming is profit earning. More profit earning is the main aim of this farm. They cultivate mainly cash crops instead of food crops. Cash crops like tea, coffee, and this type of many examples are there. They will be cultivating as a commercial. That's cash crops, they give more importance for cash crops instead of food crops. Such type of farming, one example is mentioned, that is plantation. You might have seen that plantation. So let us see what is plantation. Here you can see one picture. It is a tea plantation. In this a large area of land, in that large area of land they cultivate one single item. Here it is tea. So this type of cultivation is called plantation, which means a single crop is grown over a large tract of land. For example, tea plantation, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, these all are examples for plantation, as well as it comes under the commercial crops. You can see the picture here. As we know, the tea in Assam and North Bengal, coffee and Karnataka are some of the important plantation crops grown in India. This is one of the major plantation. So now we have studied what is agriculture and different types of farming. 3 types of farming there are: primitive subsistence farming, and intensive subsistence farming, and commercial farming. Here you can see a table here, differences. Okay, subsistence farming and commercial farming. Practice on small patches, but commercial large scale. Subsistence farming, there depends irrigation, but here commercial farming will have dam and such facilities, irrigation facilities will be there. Subsistence farming they use primitive tools, but here they use modern technology. In subsistence farming they have very low production, but the commercial farming they will be having high production. And no costly fertilizers are used in subsistence farming, but here it is they use chemical fertilizers. And primitive subsistence farming they use family members, mainly members are involved from family, but here it is laborers are hired for the commercial purpose. Okay. There are so many differences like this. Now we are moving to the next part, that is cropping pattern or cropping seasons. As we know that in India we have 3 cropping patterns. They are called Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. You can see in this table, Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. So let's talk about a different crop season. First of all, let us talk about Rabi season or Rabi crop. Rabi crops actually are sown in the winter time, and it is harvesting in the time of summer. That means from October to December period. They will be sowing the seeds. Seeds will be sown in this October October, November, December, these 3 months. And the harvesting will be from April to June. That is summer season. This type of rabi crops require less temperature and less rainfall. It is mainly grown in the north and the northwestern part of India, like countries like Rajasthan, Gujarat, and the west, Punjab, these regions. For example, for rabi crops, they are included like wheat, barley, peas, mustard. These are examples for rabi crops. So mainly we need to remember that these cultivations starting from winter season, that is October to December, then the harvest time is April to June. Now when we come to the second category, that is Kharif. Kharif season. This type of crops will be growing in the onset of monsoon. That means we will be focusing or will be starting the cultivation in the time of June. That is a month of in India the monsoon rainfall starts. So sown in the month of June and harvested in the month of September, October period. Those crops are comes under Kharif. That is a Kharif season. Okay, June to September, or we can say June to October, which requires high temperature and high rainfall for its growth. Crops like rice, jowar, bajra, jute, this all comes under these Kharif crops. For example, rice, which need enough rainfall and enough temperature as well. It is grown all over the country during the summer season. You know that it starts from June, July, August. That's why it's grown all over the country during the summer season. In states like Assam, West Bengal, Odisha, 3 crops of paddy are grown in a year. That is a specialty of this area. Assam, West Bengal, Odisha, there are 3 crops of paddy they are cultivated in a year. Some other places it is not possible because of the heavy rainfall or heavy flood. But in Assam, West Bengal, Odisha, they are cultivating 3 paddy in a year. These are Oz, Aman, Boro. These are the name of this paddy. Oz, Aman, Boro. These are the regional name of these paddy crops. So these all are example for Kharif. Example like rice, jowar, bajra, jute. So they cultivate in the month of June and harvest in the month of September or October. Now the third season is called Zaid season. So the crops cultivated in the month of Zaid season, it is called Zaid crop. They are cultivated in between the Rabi and the Kharif crop. It's a very, very short season. It is so short season crop only cultivating it, which required only less water. Important crops comes under these categories are vegetables and fruits like watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetables and fodder. These all are fodder in the sense the things which you are cultivating for the food of animals. So these are the main 3 seasons: Rabi, Kharif and Zaid.